This unique story began when a British merchant ship was passing through the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Its captain noticed a ship far away that was neither moving forward nor responding to their signals. Upon approaching, it was found that this ship was stranded alone in the desolate sea, relying only on the waves. What was strange was that the ship had all the crew's belongings, food, and cargo intact, but what was missing was the crew themselves, who had vanished without a trace. This is the story of the Mary Celeste, a mystery that has puzzled historians for over the past 150 years. It is a secret known only to the ocean. Welcome again to Global Facts Videos. The ship was originally named Ajan. During its early voyages, it had faced some minor accidents, which made it famous for its mishaps, but it had never encountered any major incidents. When the ship changed ownership and came under Captain Benjamin Briggs, it was renamed the Mary Celeste. It was on November 7th in New York Harbor loading cargo. When it was ready for a long voyage, the ship was loaded with 1,700 barrels of ethanol, which is not for drinking but for industrial use. These barrels were supposed to be transported from New York to Genoa, Italy, across the Atlantic. The ship had a total of 10 people aboard, including Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife, their 2-year-old daughter, and 7 crew members. Before setting sail, there were no issues with the ship, and it departed without any delays. This journey was about 7,500 kilometers long. Normally, in those days, a voyage of such distance would take not just days, but several weeks. Keep in mind, GPS or advanced communication devices were not available back then. 3 weeks had passed since the Mary Celeste left New York, and as expected, it was becoming time for its arrival at Genoa. However, there was still no sign of the ship. Other ships that had left New York around the same time were now arriving at Genoa. The question arose as to why the Mary Celeste hadn't reached its destination even after so many weeks. 10 days after the Mary Celeste set sail, another British ship left New York on the same route heading towards Gibraltar. It was the De Grea ship, and after several weeks, it reached its destination on December 4th. On December 4th, the De Grea ship noticed a vessel adrift. Its captain realized that this ship was not moving forward but was stationary. In the Atlantic Ocean, this was a rare sight, and the captain was suspicious. He sent several signals but received no response. So, the captain decided to approach it. Upon closer inspection, it turned out that this was none other than the Mary Celeste. It had been an entire month since the ship left New York. It was now found 1,800 kilometers away from Gibraltar, stranded in the Atlantic, completely still, with no signs of life. The crew of the De Grea ship boarded the Mary Celeste and were shocked to find it completely deserted. The ship that had left New York with 10 people was now empty. Where had the entire crew gone? This question continued to baffle the captain. Initially, he suspected an accident on board. However, upon inspecting the ship, everything appeared to be intact. The captain and his family's belongings, the crew members' clothing, and even the goods they were transporting to Genoa were all untouched. Even the food stock on board for the crew remained untouched. Further investigation revealed a logbook from the captain's cabin. This logbook, which ship captains typically kept, contained maintenance notes and reports about the ship's issues. The last entry in the logbook was dated 25th November at 8 a.m. That meant the ship had been abandoned 10 days prior. The ship had been stranded in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean for almost 10 days. The captain of the De Grea observed all of this, but still couldn't figure out what had happened. Upon further inspection, he noticed something strange. The ship's lifeboat was missing. This suggested that the crew must have escaped in the lifeboat. The captain also noticed that the navigation instruments were missing, and under the captain's bed, a sword was found in its cover. This indicated that there had been no attack on the ship, because if there had been, the sword would either have been outside the cover or wouldn't have been there at all. Other documents were also found intact. Another observation was that the ship's cabin was damp, and in some places there was about a foot or two of standing water. However, it wasn't enough to cause serious damage to the ship. According to international salvage law, if anyone rescues a ship, they are rewarded according to the value of the ship. Taking advantage of this law, the captain of the De Graya took the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar, where the authorities held it until a court hearing was conducted. The court carried out an investigation, but despite several hearings, no clues could be found. As the case could not be solved, people started coming up with different theories. Some said extraterrestrials had abducted the crew, while others claimed a sea monster had attacked the ship. There was one truth amid all the fictional stories. Since its inception, the Mary Celeste had faced numerous accidents. Once it collided with another ship, and despite the minor collision, the other ship sank. When the Mary Celeste was brought in for repairs, it was itself damaged at the port before repairs could begin. Before its final voyage, the captain fell ill and passed away suddenly. Because of these incidents, it was believed that the ship was haunted by spirits, which may have led to its latest misfortune. Hence, the Mary Celeste came to be known as the ghost ship. But what really happened that day? There are several theories we can look at. The first theory is of betrayal. Some believe that the captain of the De Graya killed the crew to claim the salvage reward. However, if that were true, there would likely have been signs of a struggle or blood on board. The second theory is related to the alcohol barrels. The ship was carrying 1,700 barrels of ethanol, and when the ship was inspected, 9 of them were found empty. It's possible that an explosion occurred, causing the crew to flee in the lifeboat. However, there was no evidence of any explosion or fire near the barrels. The third theory suggests that the ship was caught in a sea storm, which caused water to fill the ship. The captain, seeing the ship was flooding, might have evacuated the crew into the lifeboat. However, the small lifeboat could not withstand the storm, leading to the crew's demise. This theory seems plausible, but it remains just that, a theory. There are many theories, but none of them have been proven with solid evidence. Despite over 150 years of investigation, the mystery of what happened to the Mary Celeste remains unsolved. What happened to the ship? Why did Captain Briggs leave the ship and disappear with his crew? Perhaps the secret went down with Captain Benjamin Briggs. We hope you like this video, and we'll share it with others. Thanks for your love and comments. See you in the next amazing video.